Good afternoon and welcome to Covfeed.
It's just gone 3:30 and we have an exciting show for you today, from brand new electric buses to the US election. In local news today, Stagecoach is set to introduce new electric buses in Coventry in an effort for the city to be the first in the UK to be carbon neutral in its public transportation. Here is our environmental correspondent, Ejima Obosile, with more.
Coventry's in for a treat as they prepare to roll in 64 new buses next year. These have been described as zero emissions in the aim to tackle air pollution. Coventry are predicting to be the first city with an all-electric bus fleet after Stagecoach commit £140 million towards this new project. Take a look at this tour of the current diesel buses. It's a standard bus you'd expect. But not only have Stagecoach targeted air pollution in the new ones, they have provided better comfortability and improved the overall experience for passengers, including higher seats, charging ports, and they are double-deckered so more people can board. Our bus drivers play an integral role in ensuring our public transport users are comfortable and safe. Let's hear what they have to say about this new initiative.
My name is Venance Dai, and I've been a bus driver for 8 years now. Well, recently we received the new electric buses. They're great to drive, but whether it's it's also great for the environment. But we keep talking about the exhaust, the emission of the exhaust. There's a factor nobody think about. It's the brake dust, which is the most polluting. The exhaust, the exhaust fume. It's not the most dangerous. It's the brake dust. What those companies going to do about it? People keep talking about zero emission, but the electric bikes still emit pollution.
It's very comfortable, and electric is very good for public, for cities, because there's not too much exhausted. And diesel one was noise, but it was on time. But it's gone. The time is new one is better than diesel one. But I love to drive diesels more than diesels because that one is very noisy and very uncomfortable. But diesel is very nice. I'm driving nicely with these, no more than that.
Come 2025, we will be out with the old and in with the new, as Coventry continues to promote environmental sustainability for all.
Thanks, Ejima. I can't wait to ride in one of these new buses. They look really fancy.
They really do. If you want to read more about Coventry going all electric for transportation, be sure to check out our Covfeed website.
Now, moving on to some other news from around Coventry.
Coventry City Council has renewed its commitment to the armed forces by signing the Armed Forces Covenant. This was signed amid the remembrance ceremonies of Sunday as a promise to acknowledge the service and sacrifice of veterans and their families.
Sanctions have been imposed on a Coventry doctor after he was found drunk at work by his colleagues. A tribunal heard yesterday how the GP at Park Lays Medical Centre was intoxicated in a consulting room and attempted to drive his work vehicle.
An investigation has revealed that a converted electric bike is the cause of a house fire that killed 2 people. Crews were called to the blaze in Stoke-Aldermore on Friday morning, but tragically could not save the 2 occupants.
In other news, Rita Ora gave an emotional tribute to Liam Payne, the singer from Wolverhampton, who passed away last month. While hosting the MTV EMAs, the singers duetted on the song For You. If you're a Cov City fan, I'm sure you know that legendary manager Mark Robins was sacked last week. Candidates are already being lined up to replace him ahead of a fans forum tonight at an undisclosed location. Here is our sports correspondent Matthew Roach with more.
Coventry and football fans alike were shocked by the news that manager Mark Robins was sacked following a 2-1 home defeat to Derby. Now, on the day where owner Doug King will host a forum for the most passionate of Cov fans to voice their opinion, what do the Sky Blue faithful have to think about the decision? We travel to the Stadium Light to see. Here we are at the Stadium Light as Coventry prepare to battle top of the Championship Sunderland 2 days after Mark Robins was sacked. Fans, players and staff alike have done the 400-mile round trip, but one person who certainly hasn't is Doug King. What is your opinion on Doug King? I'm here to ask the fans their opinions about him before the game.
Right, so on the Mark Robins thing being sacked, I think it was too brutal for my liking. I think there's something going on behind the scenes. I think we're on the way up. We were starting to get it together. He's got a new set of players this year. And what the biggest thing for me was, out of all the things he's done for the last, since 2017, is why it was so brutal. So something more respectful and less brutal would have definitely been, look, we want to get rid of him, let's say, till the end of the calendar year.
Well, I've been a Coventry fan for 40 years, and one thing I can say about Mark Robins is, say, the last 7 or 8 years, is all the good memories that we've had, especially personally. I'm with my family. The 4 trips to Wembley, and we've been to a number of games and basically created a lot of good memories. So Mark Robins, for me personally, is the best manager for me. And the message to King is, we will miss Mark Robins. Careful what you wish for, but we look forward to the future, and hopefully who does come in, we can move forward with the next manager, I guess.
The mood on the concourse was in danger of becoming very toxic, as a frustrating half left Coventry 2-0 down. Not the energy you would associate with Sky Blues fans.
I think it's a disgusting decision, and being polite, I'd probably say to Doug King, why?
Same really. Disgusting decision, and after everything we've been through for a club, he gave us stability, and now I feel like that's gone. Doug King hasn't actually got a clue about football, and he's a bit of an imposter. That's the only thing I can think of. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, from all of us. Thank you, Mark Robins. Yeah, thank you. Mark Robins.
We're here at the end of the game at the Stadium Light, and Coventry has fought back from 2-0 down to draw 2-2. Now, Sky Blues fans, the future is not certain, but there were lots of positives to take. Who would you appoint as your new manager, and what do you think the future's going to hold for you? The journey ahead will be uncertain, Sky Blues, but one thing for certain is that whoever King appoints next will have a big job in their hands to keep up the club and fan connection that Robins has built so strong.
Thanks, Matthew. Big up the Sky Blues. If you want to guess who the next manager will be, check out our Twitter.
Coventry and football fans alike were shocked by the news that manager Mark Robins was...
Now, for the last few days, everyone in the world, from European leaders to Coventry businesses, have scrambled to answer one simple question. What will a new Trump administration mean for them? Our political correspondent, Jack Wolf, with more.
It has been an unprecedented few days as the world holds its breath about the consequences of Trump's victory. Keir Starmer has met French President Emmanuel Macron today to discuss Gaza and Ukraine. Their main concern? Whether Joe Biden would agree to approve the long-range Storm Shadow missiles being fired into Russia. This is something Putin has already said would be a significant escalation. Emmanuel Macron has clearly stated his reaction to the election. Europe will have to evolve from a herbivore to a carnivore. Europe will have to form its own policy on defense and trade independently from an increasingly isolationist and protectionist United States. Ukraine especially is likely to be a considerable policy divide between the US and Europe, with Trump's own son, Donald Trump Jr., posting a clip to Instagram joking that Ukraine is about to lose its allowance. Zelensky has reaffirmed that any peace deal that cedes land to Russia is unacceptable. With Europe's support for Ukraine being stronger than ever, maybe Trump will find it more difficult than he expected to strong-arm the peace process. Now bear with me, because we need to talk about tariffs. Here's Trump himself on the issue.
We're going to lower taxes still further for companies that are going to make their product in the USA. We're going to protect those companies with strong tariffs, because I'm a believer in tariffs. I'm not sure that you are. I don't think you are, but I congratulate you on your career. But To me, the most beautiful word in the dictionary is tariff.
Tariffs are a tax imposed on goods being imported into a country. Under Trump's proposed plans, US companies would have to pay up to 20% more on goods from other countries, which, in theory, would make them buy goods within the US instead. Trump's goal with this is to increase domestic manufacturing, whilst making more money from foreign trade. But this will have a significant impact on the world economy. If Europe or countries like China retaliate by increasing the prices of their goods, a trade war might ensue. The IMF recently warned that a trade war would shrink the world economy by 7%. That's the equivalent of both the economies of Germany and France. Now, speculation has risen that Trump may spare the UK the brunt of the tariffs, given his close ties to the country and his support for Brexit. Even a 10% tariff might cost the UK up to £22 billion, over half of the income from record-breaking tax rises in the recent budget. But we can't know for sure until Trump enters office in January. Jaguar Land Rover, whose own factories are here in Coventry, are themselves unsure of what this might mean for their exports to the US, Land Rovers in particular being very popular over there. They said, "We will wait and see what the new administration will implement." So will we all. And that's the ultimate conclusion here. As much as we can speculate about Trump's presidency, his famous unpredictability means all this could change at the drop of a hat. But we'll keep you updated either way here at Covfeed News. Back to you, Sid and Katie.
Thanks, Jack. Now, there's a lot going on in the sports world at the moment. Here is our sports correspondent, Joseph Cooney, with the latest.
Lee Carsley announced his final England squad in the build-up to his last 2 games as interim manager, as his selection saw uncapped youngsters like Curtis Jones and Lewis Hall earn call-ups. With the side's current injury worries, it looks increasingly likely that these players could make their debut. He spoke to us about the reason behind certain selections and the squad's current injury crisis.
Yeah, well, they're both players that have played a lot of minutes this season. They've showed that they can consistently play in the Premier League at a high level. Players that are both known really well. I think obviously the relationship that and longevity that I've known Taylor from obviously Man City and captaining under 21s, having such a successful summer. You know, getting the promotion and they're playing in the Premier League week in, week out. He's a player that really deserves it. Outstanding captain, brilliant example to the rest of the players within the under-21s. Lewis is a player that has took his time to settle in, high quality, left-footed, like you say. A player that deserves to be in, shown he can be really consistent. Looking forward to working with him. I've worked with Lewis a few times now, so there's such competition at right back in terms of the amount of right backs that we've got. We haven't got the same problem or challenges at left back, so it's a good challenge for Lewis. I find a real big challenge of this job is to pick the squad. I mean, there's definitely 4 or 5 players that could, that would be disappointed to not to be involved in this current squad because they're having good seasons themselves. So that's a big challenge. Now the next challenge will be getting through this round of fixtures from Saturday and Sunday in terms of getting the players that we've named in the squad to be here and to be fully fit. We know that a lot of the squad are carrying injuries and that are maintaining and managing their injuries. So hopefully we get a full set and we can pick the strongest team that we can. Well, Curtis is an all-round player, plays in various positions. He's a player that I highly rate. He'd be one of the best players that I've worked with in terms of his ability. I think he's shown a real consistent level of playing every week now, most weeks especially, at a high level. He's showed that he can score goals, he can assist, and a player that we've had a lot of success working with in the past. So a player that I'm really looking forward to working with.
And I can report that within the last hour, Arsenal's Bukayo Saka and Liverpool's Curtis Jones have both pulled out from the squad with injury. This follows Saka limping off during the team's 1-1 draw with Chelsea on Sunday. This comes amongst further worries as both Declan Rice and Anthony Gordon also withdrew early from their club's games at the weekend. Now, in other sport news, Coventry Rugby have broken the record for the most tries in a Premiership rugby match, with 5 tries scored. This came as they thrashed Leicester Tigers in a 33-19 victory. The tennis women's world number 13, Barbara Krejcikovic, has criticised journalists for comments they made about her looks. These comments were made by commentator John Wortham, and the comments have since been removed from the air. And finally, UFC heavyweight champion John Jones is set to fight Stipe Miocic at Madison Square Garden this Saturday. The bout was originally scheduled for last November, however the champion pulled out due to injury. That's all from me, back to Katie and Sid.
Thanks, Joe. That was a lot of sports to catch up on, or a lot of sports that we're going to watch anyway. But now, we're going to go over to Rianne with the weather.
It will be a clear day in Coventry with sunny skies for the rest of this afternoon. There will be temperatures as high as 10 degrees and as low as 3. However, there will be the odd light patch of cloud drifting in occasionally. It will be similar this evening with more dry conditions and clear skies following into a bright Tuesday morning with the temperature staying the same as it is today. Back to you, Katie and Sid.
Thanks, Rianne. And that's all for today.
Be sure to check out our Instagram, Twitter and TikTok pages.
If you would like to find out how slang terms have changed over the past few years, be sure to check out the Covfeed website.
Thank you and see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.